Right guys, welcome to the channel. I hope you're having a great day. So today's been a bit hit and miss with the weather. I mean, I was supposed to come out this morning, but I thought I'd have a little bit of a lie-in. The weather was still lovely again, but then it started absolutely peeing it down. Thankfully everything's dried up and I'm coming out. So I've come out to do a review on the Scorpion ADX-1, or if you're in America, it's the AT-950. So there are things that I love about this helmet, and there are things that I don't hate, but things that I dislike about it. So firstly, the reason I bought this helmet, I had the Schuberth C3 Pro, and that helmet had it needed changing. It was scratched, it was starting to come apart, and we'll say I needed a new helmet. I mean, they don't last forever, do they? And when I was looking for one, I didn't have the money spare to go and pick up another Schuberth. And then eventually my hinge broke on the Schuberth, so I needed a helmet. And anyway, Woman Wolf Rider, she put a review up of this one. I've been looking one for a while, and I've been looking at these and a couple of other different versions, just like, well, all the different brands that have done similar type of helmets. And I just had not known anybody who had actually had one. So I've seen loads of different reviews on the American versions online. And Woman Wolf Rider was the first person that I could actually message and say, look, what do you think of the helmet? Look, if you came off, would you go and buy one again? And she said, yeah. I thought, you know what, I mean, she knows what she's talking about. She's not just the average rider, she rides all the time. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to just bite the bullet and get one. Anyway, I managed to find this for $174.99. It comes with, and I'll have to put a picture up for this because I've put it somewhere safe and I'm not sure where that safe place is. It comes with a peak, and then it comes with these spare, whoop, I can't do it on that side because my camera. It comes with a couple of little caps on the side to cover up where the peak would have gone. So as I was saying, it comes with a few bits, comes with a bag, the usual stuff that you get with a helmet, and the peak is brilliant, although I don't ride with it on. I mean, the helmet itself, you can buy different visors for it, and it comes in different colours. Myself, I bought the matte black. I was going to go for a gloss black, but they don't make a gloss black, so matte black it was. Anyway, the number one feature on this helmet that I absolutely love is this visor. It's huge. I mean, you can see just from the view on the camera how big this visor is. Your field of vision, I mean, I can see all the way left and all the way right. It's probably one of the best that I've ever used on any helmet that I've ever had. So my previous helmet was £450, or close to $700–800 Schuberth C3 Pro. And this is fantastic. It's not optically correct, so there are certain angles in the visor. If you look left and right with your eyes rather than turning your head, you do see a slight bit of distortion, but again, for the price, not bothered. The pin lock on the inside, brilliant. Not Schuberth brilliant, but brilliant enough. The pin lock does stop the majority of the fogging, and yeah, I mean, that's fine. That's the same sort of quality as the visor. And the pin lock actually comes pretty much all the way to the edges, so it doesn't disrupt any of your vision. But when it is cold and your breath is warm, the pin lock doesn't get any fog on the inside. On the outside of the pin lock, closest part to your eyes, condensation does happen. But you know what, I've had the same issues with previous helmets, even with the Schuberth. Right, so next I think I'm going to go on to fit. And loads of people said this online, that you need to get a size up, or it's a bit tight, or it's a bit snug. Yes, when the full face is down, it is snug. It is snug into your cheeks to the point that if you try and close your mouth, you end up biting the inside of your cheeks, so you have to kind of like work around it. Whereas when I first bought it, now it's still like that a bit, but it's not as bad, and I've had it for a few months now, or something like that. And yeah, it's comfy. It's everywhere that I've seen online says it's something like 1500 grams and more. That's BS. It's not. This is 10 grams more than the Schuberth C3 Pro, so it feels, to be honest, no different. And the fact that I'm using the GoPro Session 5 now, it actually feels lighter than the Schuberth because I had the GoPro Hero 4 on the front of that. Next we're going to go on to the sun visor. It has a sun visor, and you move it with a little tab here. By the way, I'll probably put a little clip of that up. The sun visor, it's got enough coverage. It comes down enough for the sun. Although it does look dark when you're looking at the helmet before you put it on, when you get it on and the sun's bright, it's not very dark. It could do with being a lot darker, maybe this and this darkness again. So that, like I say, everything I'm comparing here is to an ultra premium, the most premium modular helmet that you can buy. So I have to think about that sometimes and say it's not going to be the same, but it does its job. The visor again, I'm going to go back to indents. You've got one here, which is all the way down. This is your city riding position in slow moving traffic, which is a bit high, but it does. Then you've got here, which completely obstructs your vision at the front. It's pointless having it there. And then your final dent. When you've got the peak on, the peak moves up with the visor. Again, I can't put that on and show you because I've not got it, but if you search for ADX-1 or the AT-950 on YouTube, you'll see somebody opening and closing it. I think what I'm going to do next is going into vents, seeing as it's overly warm day and we're stop-start. You have this one that's on the front here, I'll come in close. It's just two positions. You got closed, you got one clip down which directs air at the visor, and then you've got all the way down which directs it obviously towards your mouth, face and the visor. I ride with a screen on, and I mean, as you can see from the camera, and to be honest this doesn't really do much with the screen on. But with the screen off, however, I've tried this once. You have a ton of airflow, an absolute ton of it. It just directs it in your face, and that is when you have no issues at all with the pin lock, because you're getting the air in there to clean the inside of the visor. That demystifies it as well as having the pin lock, and that is the thing that you want this helmet for. There's an absolute ton of airflow with the visor closed or the visor open, but with the screen on, I have to have the visor open if I'm too hot, and that way there's a nice bit of air that comes over the top of the windscreen and just fills up my face. And the fact that it's such a huge port on the front of the helmet, I'm not too hot in it at all. It's actually quite nice. Stop and start traffic is a bit iffy, but the rest of it's quite nice. You've also got one on the top of the helmet. I don't know if you can see that one. Actually, you know what? It's a bit dangerous for me looking down while I'm riding. So what I'll do, I'll just take either a video clip or a clip of it at home and chuck that in. That opens up and you get a moderate amount of airflow into the helmet. I'm not going to show you the channels inside the helmet because there are plenty of videos online of sellers, Revzilla and a few other places that they'll show you videos and they'll strip down the helmet and show you exactly what's inside. But you do get enough air, I suppose, through the top end. It's not great, not compared to some helmets out there. Overall, the paint on it, I think the paint's great for a matte finish. I mean, I've got a Biltwell Bonanza at home, and that's a bit iffy with the paint. It's started to shine up in certain areas. But yeah, the finish on this is lovely, and I think the looks of it are great. And you know what I mean? If you had a nice dark shield or a mirrored shield on the front, it's quite an aggressive profile to it as well. Buffeting's quite minimal. It's not as aerodynamic as, say, for example, my Schuberth or other helmets that I've owned, but for what this helmet is, for how modular this helmet is, it is brilliant. Right, it is a bit of a difficult one because I ride with a screen on, so a lot of the noise is cut down because of that, but it is noisier. I wouldn't say twice, I'd say probably whatever my Schuberth was, half of that again on top. That's what it is with the screen on. With the screen off, wow, it is loud. It is very loud. All that wind coming through, and you hear every little whistle, everything on the helmet. So you might want to chuck earplugs in if you're not having something block the wind that's hitting the front of your helmet. On that note, I say this helmet overall, if I came off and crashed now, for the price of it and for what I get, I would buy it again. There are a couple of things that I say annoy me. The sun visor on the inside, it's not dark enough. It could be darker. The visor, however, you do get a good seal all around here because of a gasket that's on there, especially when it's raining, but there is no click that holds it down. This is your final click, this part here. After that, it just sucks in. And if you put it down yourself, that's not fully sealed. You have to start to push it and let it do it itself for it to fully seat. The other thing that I kind of found out the other day is the vent on the top of my helmet. All this helmet, none of it rattles, none of it moves or anything when you ride it, it's all fine, but the vent on top of the helmet, I've had it open for a bit because it's been getting warm, but this one particularly, it was absolutely peeing it down. So I closed it, and then I started to hear a rattle. I'm going to try it now. I don't know if it'll do it. That's rattling like hell now. I don't know if you can hear that in the helmet. That is annoying the hell out of me. I've not used this vent at all. It's not been open and closed, open and closed. I haven't had the helmet very long. All through winter, that vent has been closed. Every time it's been raining, which has been for the past 3 months really, it has been closed. I opened it when I got it just to see what it was like, and I opened it as soon as it started to get warm the other day. So that's a flaw there. I'm going to have to put a little bit of rubber gasket sealing something underneath just to fill in a little bit of a gap. The visor is something that, as great as it is visually, it's not quick. You can't take it off quickly. You have to take these panels off by unscrewing them, take the panel off, and then you can get the visor off. So you would need a coin or a screwdriver or something on you to do that. I haven't really ridden with the Peak. It seems brilliant, it looks fantastic on the helmet, just not as great with this bike. So I can't really comment on that. Alright, we'll go to Bluetooth systems. I use the which one is it? I think it's the F3MC or the F4MC on the side of the helmet by Interphone. The pockets on the inside of the helmet, they are big enough for any unit. These speakers they're not the thinnest, and they are big enough. And when you put the cheek back in, you've got a nice little bit of material that covers it up. And I'll lift this up the front. I have my mic here. There is plenty of room for that. It's just a case of you having to faff around to route wires in there, same as I've done with the GoPro mic. All in all, I do love this helmet, and if I did crash I'd get another one. But there are little things that do bug me. That little vent at the top will play on my mind now until I've sorted it. But again, like I say, I'm comparing this to the top line of helmets, the C3 Pro, which is comfortable, it's aerodynamic, the visor's optically correct, the sun shield's dark enough, there's plenty of space in there for a comm unit. The paint on that is second to none, it's fantastic. So, but again, the price difference, I could own 3 of these and still not own a Schuberth at the price of 3. And again, with the Schuberth you get a lot more colours as well. With this, I believe you get this colour, you get a grey anthracite, you get like a camouflage sort of colour. I'm not sure if you get a white, I can't remember, but I'll chuck them up on the screen as I'm saying about it. But all in all, it is a fantastic helmet. And yeah, believe it or not, the screen does direct a lot of the wind away from my face, but the screen's low enough that I can, well, when I sit up straight, the screen comes to about just below my nose, which for situations like snowy or icy or foggy or stupid rain, it's perfect for. I've lost my trail of thought now. So yeah, I do love this helmet. There's plenty of space in front of my mouth as well, so I don't feel as cooped up. Oh yeah, there is something I forgot to mention, the actual cheek pads and the material. Every helmet that I wear, I just chuck on a little thin skull cap underneath, just because I don't want to be washing my helmet all the time, and when I get hot I sweat, and I don't want that all the time in the helmet, having to wash it, because you're just going to ruin it. So I wear the skull cap, so I can't really speak for the top material, although the helmet's very comfy. But the cheek material is, even when I get really hot and I'm getting a bit sweaty, I've had no issues with them. They seem to pull the moisture away and keep my face as cool as it can keep me on the condition I've got air going through. So it's nice to see a few bikes out today. So the route that I picked coming up here, I decided to go from Derby. I went through Willington and Findon up towards Burton, just because there's some nice little roads up there, and I'm going back on the A38 back, just so I can show you what this helmet's like at speed. Please remember though that the windscreen does take everything off of my face about here, but from eye level upwards the wind does hit, and I'll try and do a bit of a stupid lean out to the side, just to show you what it's like wind wise. But I say, without this screen on, it is very, very noisy. I was going to have it off, but I just couldn't be bothered to faff around with the microphone and get the microphone working well with the wind, because I believe the place I've got it set up now is perfect. To be honest, I'm not actually sure of anything else I need to mention in the helmet. I'll say I didn't want to do one too quick. I wanted to have it for a while before I used it. I wanted to have it a while before I actually gave my honest opinion on it. I'll say I do think it's great, and I'm happy I bought it. Every helmet you get is going to have a little niggly bit that annoys you, but for the price point and what you get with this helmet, I don't think it can be matched. Oh, I remember the chin strap. That's something else that annoys me. You adjust it to where you need to get it to, so it's just right, and after about 2 weeks or so the thing loosens up, so you have to re-tighten it. But again, it is solid, and it's just a little niggly thing that I suppose you've got to deal with. Everything has its flaws, nothing's perfect, and to be honest I can't really think of anything else I need to mention on it. So what I'm going to do, if you've got any questions to ask on the helmet, drop it in the comments, let me know and I'll answer, because that's it, there will be things that I've missed out. But if you want to see unboxings, or you want to see what the helmet looks like inside with the internals, or some close-ups of the channels, etc., I suggest just searching for the Scorpion ADX-1 or searching for the AT-950. The only difference between this helmet, the European version, and the American version, this comes with a pinlock ready visor and a pinlock in the box. The American version doesn't. Right, so we are doing 40 miles an hour now with the visor fully open. I'm going to close it just as a speed up. I'll open it at speed as well and try and lean the outside of me windscreen. Let's have a look. So anything above 70 miles an hour, you do get a fair bit of buffeting. The Schuberth was a lot better at handling that, but that's if you decide you want to go above 70 miles an hour. And I'll open the visor and just make sure I'm at 70. I'm at 70, I'll open the visor at 70. That is directing a ton of wind into them. I don't know if you can hear it or not. The way that I've got this mic set up is not for a lot of wind hitting it. Hence why it sounds so great with the screen on. Without the screen it's a bit more. I'm going to lean to the side a little bit at 70 just so you can hear what the wind sounds like. Yeah, a lot of wind comes in. And to be honest, with this visor open, if I didn't have these thick pieces in front of my next to my cheeks, I'd believe that I'd... Yeah, what's up? Right, so I just got a call there that interrupted me. And like I was saying, that with the visor open, in fact, to be honest, you could even take it off if you wanted it off. A lot of people would rock this with goggles. I mean, the port's big enough to have goggles on. I believe that's something that I didn't mention before. Yeah, it does feel like an open face, the amount of wind that actually comes in there. I don't think I mentioned about glasses. I haven't tried glasses on with this, so I couldn't honestly tell you what it's like. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure what else I should say. I think I've covered all the grounds that I needed to cover. So anyway, I'll probably just leave it there. Like I said before, if you're unsure of anything and I've not covered something, drop me a message in the comments and I'll let you know. If you want a second opinion, feel free to find Woman Wolf Rider on YouTube. Drop her a message, I'm sure she'll get back to you. Yeah. So again, anyway, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. If you want to see any more content like this, click on the channel, click videos, and they're all there. Right, take care all, have a good day, and ride safe.